early morning to you, Trevor. Old sports writers aren't used to this. Anyway, anything different about your off-season routine in terms of strength and conditioning? I know you worked out at the same place as Patrick Mahomes, but anything you did different this winter?
Yeah, there's always a couple adjustments that we take into the off season. After we sit down and kind of go over how we felt last year, but mostly it was the same. Little things here and there to help my body feel better, but so I guess more so on the recovery side and still just trying to get faster and stronger. That's the main key, and I felt like I did that.
I spoke a couple weeks back, and you'd mentioned you thought this offense could utilize its speed. Can you talk a little bit about your philosophy and how it's grown in terms of stealing bases?
For sure. I think it's a big part of my game, and I think it could be a big part of our game as a team. We have a lot of great team speed, I think, with Hampy, Hilliard, Rogers, Tapia. These guys can fly, so I think we need to use that. But for me personally, it was, younger in my career, I was a little more timid and not so sure of myself, I guess. And I think with experience, as do a lot of things, I got more comfortable. Saw the patterns and saw things that I was looking for that gave me more confidence in stealing bags. And I think it's really just a mindset, especially stealing bases and taking the extra bag. You're aggressive, and it has to be an aggressive mindset. It can't be a timid one.
Well, thank you, Trevor.
Yep.
Go ahead, Thomas Harding. Thomas, go ahead.
Yes, Trevor, first of all, good morning. Secondly, what about parts of your game that maybe you looked at last year and said they need to be better? What were those parts?
Specifically last year, I made more errors than I would have liked. That was the one that stuck out to me, and we addressed that, and it was something that I can't blame it on anything but myself, but just a little footwork issue and really just getting through the ball and driving to my target. So I feel good about that, and I really pride myself on making the plays that need to be made, and I feel like I've done a good job of that in my career. Last year, I didn't do a great job, so that was the main one.
Aside from the issues of free agency and contracts, do you look around at all those other shortstops where this is kind of a year of the shortstop? And are you going to kind of compare as you go, maybe even look at the stats, look at how the teams are doing and everything else?
None more so than usual. I'm not a big comparison guy. I really try to focus on what I can control, and I can't control what other guys do. And for me, I'm worried about winning games here as a Rocky, and that's my main goal, and that's what it's always been. So, it's a contract year, but to me, I feel like I said it before that every year is pretty much that way. So, I don't think it's the first time that this is happening. So, I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited for the season, and there's a great group of shortstops, and I know it's fun to play with those guys.
Yeah, and the MLB Network had you at the top of the top shortstops right now. I mean, does that feel good? Do you use that as any motivation? Like, hey, someone could come up from behind and take my spot, or does that matter a lot to you?
Well, sure, yeah, it feels good. But I've never been motivated by anything other than myself or my own thoughts. I really try to make it about myself and how I can improve my game, and each year I think that's on me. So, and it's on me to identify the spots and be honest with myself about where I can get better, and that's really where my mind's at. But it's cool, man. I think it's a super competitive, super talented group of shortstops. I think we all push each other in one way or another, with even if we know it or not.
Okay, just a couple quick ones for me. You guys, a couple days ago, and decided he wasn't going to be back. At least announced it to us. Was that something the team was aware of? And I know that he had been involved in trying to keep guys focused. Does that change anything in that respect?
Yeah, Ian let us know. He let us know before releasing, on Instagram. So yeah, no, Dez he's still a big part of our group, man. He's still locked in on the group text. I plan on talking to him a lot this spring, because he's been a mentor of mine since he's been here, and he's helped me so much. I think, trying to be a leader, and he has those leadership aspects that he's attained over his career, and he's built up a special brand like that. And so I love talking to him all the time, and he's a a big part of my development, I think. And so it's not like he's just going to disappear. He's certainly still a part of our team, and maybe not so on the field right now, but behind the scenes for sure.
That's what for me. I know that you often go in with goals. You don't like to reveal the numbers that much, but stolen bases, that is a finite number, man. Do you have a number that you want to get to this year?
I do, yeah, but I'm not gonna say it today. Maybe at the end of the year, we'll see where we're at, and I'll tell you if it was there or not.
Very much.
Nick Groke, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, hey Trevor, going into Salt River, and I hope you got to Arizona from Texas, okay, by the way. But
Thank you.
Going for the first time, how different did it feel? No Nolan, no Desmond, no David Dahl. Lots of changes this offseason. How different did it feel, and is it at all unsettling sort of for you?
It's definitely different. There's no doubt about that. It's a good vibe, though. I feel like guys are excited to play ball. Me specifically, I was in Texas during that snowstorm, and it was tough, man. And a lot of people have been really struggling with that. So, I think it really, right before we came, kind of helped my perspective on, man, I get to come play baseball, and everything's great here. So the weather's amazing, and so my perspective there was enhanced, I think. And but yeah, it is different, and it's a little weird without David, without Knowles, without Dez, Tony, a lot of guys that have been regulars here for a long time since I've been here. And it's going to take some getting used to for sure, but I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for some young guys, and I think they're ready to step into that challenge.
What how does it change how you think of yourself on this team? Do you feel like you're gonna have to do more? Are you gonna have to be even a louder leader? Do you feel like people are gonna have to lean on you a little bit more?
Maybe louder, but that's not the first thing that comes to mind. I think when you think about me, but I think I'll do it in my own way, and certainly I would like to be leaned on more for sure. That's something that I want. That's something that I'm gonna embrace. And I'm gonna talk to the young guys and let them know that I'm here for them, man. And I want you guys to ask me any and all the questions that you have, and not that I know everything, but experience has helped me, and I feel like people help me along the way, like Nolan and Chuck and Tulo, those type of guys. And I feel like it's only right to help those guys if I can. So it's something that I'm going to embrace, and I'm not expecting anything more or anything less for myself. I really focus on preparing for the game each night, each day, and when we go out there and play, and just let the chips fall where they may, but let's just have some fun and play ball.
Cool. And then just last, I know you've been asked this before, and beyond just the stolen bases, but I did the math. You were trending for a 30 30 and 30 season last year. Is that a thing you think about? Would that be like a thing you would like to check off at some point if possible?
Yeah, for sure. It is. I felt like, I was on a good pace last year, and obviously, we didn't play enough games, but that's always been on my radar to do that. So, yeah, that's something I want to do.
Cool. Thanks, dude.
Yep.
Pat Graham with the Associated Press. Pat.
Trevor, thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. Got a couple for you. First of all, Kyle Freeland, basically, came out and was saying, you guys like the underdog role. You like that no one's giving you any credit or writing you off. How do you feel about that? Do you like the fact that everyone's saying, okay, Nolan's gone, the Rockies aren't going to do anything?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the narrative for sure right now. Just with anybody that's not inside our room, like I've said, we have a very tight-knit group, and I've said that all along. And, I think, losing Nolan is obviously going to hurt us, but, people are counting us out. And I feel like, when you count a group of competitors out like that at this level, at the major league level, then I think you kind of instantly put a chip on their shoulder. And I think that's kind of the attitude that we're coming in with, and it's something that we're going to embrace. And it's at the end of the day, we got to play the game on the field. It's not played on paper, so that's where we're at.
How do you separate the business of baseball from just having fun on the field? How do you not let that spill over in this? I mean, do you want to get it? Would you like to see a deal get done before next year? Or how do you separate the two, and how do you feel about that?
Yeah, for me, it's there's certain times, that I'll talk about the business of baseball, and that's that's all part of the plan. I think, there's also times where there's not a time to talk about it. So, coming into spring, there's no talks right now. So, just to kind of get that out of the way, but we're focused on myself. I'm focused on personally being the best teammate I can be, being ready for each day here, trying to pour into the young guys. So that's where my total focus is at, and we'll see what happens. But as of now, I literally do take it day to day, and that's something that I pride myself on, and I think that's a good way to not get caught looking too far ahead.
And last one from me, and this is no knock against anyone who's going to play third base, but when you have an 8-time Gold Glove winner over there, you can maybe know that I can cheat maybe toward the middle a little bit more or do other things because he's going to be there. How does it change your game not having an 8-time Gold Glove on the left side with you?
Yeah, I think you answered it right there. But Noel was very super aggressive, and as he should be, man. That's why he's the best third baseman in the game. And maybe I'll just play a little more straight up, but I think Mac, he's very rangy himself, and that's something that we're gonna go out there and take ground balls and get used to. And I think it'll be the same type of deal that I had with Nolan. If Mac can get to it, then he takes it. And that's I think that's kind of the rule that we've followed by since I've been here. And if the third baseman can get it, then I think it's an easier play. So it's something that we'll go and address and kind of see how it goes on the field. And I'm looking forward to it. I got a lot of confidence in Mac over there.
Good time.
Yep.
Tracy Ringlesby. Tracy.
Hey, Trevor, how are you?
I'm good, Tracy. How are you?
I'm good. So, it was a few years ago that the Rockies traded Troy Tulowitzki, and the world was going to fall apart. Then this kid came in the next year, hit a couple home runs on opening day in Arizona. I mean, do you think sometimes that we get caught up with what somebody's done as opposed to what somebody might be capable of doing, and that you can give some of these young guys an opportunity, and who knows what comes out of there?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of the game today. I think guys are kind of written off early for you know, not either being a big time prospect or, you know, not being on the top 100 or whatever it may be. But yeah, I think, you know, certain players have that in them, and I think opportunity is huge. And I think being able to play with, you know, knowing that you're going to play every day and not having to look over your shoulder and, you know, kind of worry about messing up, and guys can go out there and kind of be themselves. I think that gives a lot of freedom to the player. And so I'm looking forward to seeing some of that from some of our guys, I think. And yeah, you know, it's kind of a similar situation to me coming up. And, you know, I think with, you know, all the talent and I guess potential that the young guys have, that's kind of what comes with it.
I guess my other question is, you know, with Nolan wanting to be traded, does that affect whether you want to eventually try to stay with the Rockies or not? Will that have any impact on your eventual decision, or are you totally separate from that?
Yeah, it's separate. Obviously, two different situations. You know, I'm not here to speak on you know what happened with Nolan or any type of things that went on with him and the front office or whatever it may be. But yeah, it's a separate situation for sure, and you know, it's something that we're taking day by day, like I said, and it's you know, I try not to look too far ahead. I'm trying to be where my feet are, which is right here in spring training with the Rockies. So that's the way I'm looking at it, and yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Sure.
Go to Mark Stout. Mark.
Hi, Trev. Morning. Couple of questions. I'm going to reference what you talked to Thomas Harding about. First one, technical. You mentioned fastball performance for you, and something about hitting them earlier in the count. Is that with the fastball? Is that something you're going to do before you get in the box? Is it something you can change in the box? Is it guessing? Is it anticipation? What do you mean by that? With, you know, getting your fastball and hitting that pitch better.
Yeah, it's not for me. It's not guessing at all. It's really just a couple, I think, mechanical things that I cleaned up, and you know, it's not much. It's just little things, but things to make me a little more direct to the fastball. And I feel really good about those. Those are things we worked on in the off season, and you know, I've always been an aggressive hitter, and I never want to change that. I think that's a strength of mine, and you know, I think when I step in there, you know, it's time to hit. I don't think there's time to waste. There's no, you know, taking a pitch just to see one. That's really my mindset, and I think with, you know, both of those things put together, that you know, I feel good about taking care of my fastballs that I need to hit.
And lastly, Trevor, thanks. You called Chuck our rock. Why?
He's so steady, man. He's you know, whether it's preparation, recovery, you know, being just kind of a presence there for us in the lineup, in right field. He's been that guy, you know, ever since I've been here, and it's very comfortable, I think, for us, you know, to look back and see Chuck. You know, I'm not sure how the lineup's going to go, but every time I see him up there, I'm like, man, you know, this is going to be a nice AB. It's going to be professional, and something's probably going to get hit pretty hard. And it's great to have that, and I think it rubs off on guys. And you know, his steadiness and his consistency is what makes him the rock for sure.
All right, we have time for a couple more. We'll go to Michael Spencer. Michael.
Hey, Trevor. Just your initial reaction when you found out that Nolan had been traded. What was that like for you?
It was mixed emotions for sure. You know, Noel, we've gotten to become pretty close over the years, and you know, obviously, we played together on the left side, and you know, we were very prideful in trying to be the best left side, and so yeah, you know, like I said, a lot of emotions for sure. Just you know, sad for sure to have, you know, lose a guy like that, lose a player like that, and then you know, obviously, you know, he was in a different spot, so I think he was kind of relieved to have you know, kind of been done with the whole thing, you know, the trade speculation and all that. So you know, kind kind of happy for him that he's going to be in a spot that he's happy. And just like I said, a lot of whirlwind emotions, and it's tough to lose a guy like that. But like I said, kind of happy for the guy too.
Is it at all weird for you now to be in this spot where you're the veteran because you were the young guy for so long, right? And I know you're used to being on the field, but in terms of your presence in the clubhouse, and how have you changed over the years to adjust to that role?
No, I wouldn't say it's weird to me. I think, it's been a slow adjustment for me. I think over the past, 2-3 years, it's something that I've embraced because I know this is, this is part of it. This is, something that comes with being a good player. In my opinion, guys are going to look to you. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to lean on you. And I think we all, we have all those guys. We all, like Chuck is my guy in that sense. I'm talking to him, confiding in him. And I think it's a way to help young guys get better. And I think that's part of the gig when it comes to being in this situation.
I appreciate your time.
All right, 2 more. Go to Sam Bradfield, and then we'll finish up with Thomas. Sam?
Morning, Trevor. Thanks for your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a couple quick questions. So my first one is, you and many other players have mentioned Ian Desmond as a mentor and a good leader in the clubhouse. What is it like specifically about him that makes him such a good leader and has made him such a good mentor for you?
For me, I think the similar kind of trajectories of our career, and we were just talking about that yesterday. He's I'm so relatable to him to where, he's a shortstop, had some success and was in a lot of the same situations that I've been. And so I think that's rare to find, and to have a guy now that, is so readily available to talk about it and to be open and honest about the way he felt and, maybe some of the mistakes that he made or some of the things he did right. And I think just the familiarity with the situation, I think specifically between me and him, is what's special, I think.
And then you've become more like a more vocal leader kind of recently. And then, so what have you done to cultivate your own leadership, and how do you hope to continue that through this season?
Yeah, I think, I think one of the biggest things is being honest. Having a good grip on, what I need to get better at, what we need to get better at as a team, as a leader. I think being honest with yourself kind of shows you ways and, lets you figure out how to do it a little bit better. And communication is huge. I think that is something that we really need to do a better job of this year. And, that goes for everybody from the top down. So those are some of the things that I've been focusing on, and yeah.
Well, and then last one from me, are there any emerging leaders in the clubhouse that we should keep our eyes on?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's in a lot of these guys to do that. I think Marquez is taking a step in that direction for sure. I think he's not the most vocal guy, but when he talks, people listen, and he goes out there on the field and backs it up too. And same with Freeland. I've seen that in him, since I first met him, and he's got that grit about him, and kind of that dog in him to where whatever he says he's going to do, and he's going to be super prepared for it. So there's a lot of guys like that, but those are, I think, the 2 guys that stick out to me.
Well, thanks, Trevor.
Yep, thank you.
All right, Thomas, if you want to wrap it up.
Yeah, I want to wrap it up. I want to hit you at 2 ends of the experience scale. First of all, Brendan Rodgers, what can you do to help accelerate him, and what are the things you see in him that may make him what the Rockies expected when they drafted him in the first round?
I think just being there for him, there's, it's not like I'm gonna make him, anything, press the magic button or anything. He's super talented, man. He's a good player, and I think he has a chance to be great. And he knows that, and he has a lot of confidence in that. And I think everybody that has watched him play can see that, that potential. And I think just his consistency, being more steady, and I think maybe if anything, that's what I could rub off on him. But he's already made huge strides in that. So I think getting regular at bats is going to be huge for him. I think there's a lot to be said for that, and so I'm pumped about it, man. I'm looking forward to seeing the way that he takes this opportunity and kind of runs with it.
And finally, I remember talking to Tulo years ago, and he would talk about, even within a clubhouse, there are guys at a certain level you can have conversations with that maybe know a little bit more. And do you feel like Chuck is that guy? And do you feel like just talking to him, you know more about baseball, and the fact that he talks to you is a compliment that, that you're at that level with him?
Yeah, there's definitely something to that. I think Nolan was one of those guys for sure. I talk to him all the time about stuff like that, and also Chuck, he is definitely that guy. The verbiage and just kind of the way that people talk about baseball is different sometimes, and I think Chuck has had so much success and so much consistency that I love talking to him about it, and he always has some good nuggets for me. And a lot of times what I think what he's gonna say is not what comes out, and then I think about it and I'm like, man, he's right. He has a really different perspective on a lot of things, and I think it's good for me to hear that. And I think when he talks to me about it, I think I give him that different perspective too.
Did it take a while to get to that point with him?
Yeah, I think so. Just kind of slowly, over time, it happens for sure. And you got to have the conversations, or else the growth is not going to happen. But you learn how guys talk about it, and you kind of get that picture of what it looks like in your eyes.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Trevor, for taking the time this morning.